Like I told you earlier, Mo Shaban is also here. When it comes to the Ghana Premier League, the statistics, the history, everything else, Mo Shaban is my guy. And he's in the studio with us tonight for us to have a good conversation, because don't forget that the league is heading towards the end, and it's becoming extremely competitive, and Kotoko is still struggling to get to the top. BBN Gold Stars on top, Nations FC. It's become an interesting race at this point. Kotoko will play Hearts on Sunday in Accra, and that can also turn around a lot of things. Mo, good evening and welcome.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Everything good?
Everything good for the first time. Last week I was here.
Yes.
But I didn't see you.
Yes. So it's good to have you here today.
Thank you.
Now you're going to take us to school. Today you are a lecturer. Me and Sicho and the listeners and Eric. Today we are here. We want to watch our teacher Mo take us through some interesting education.
I am not a teacher. Sicho was my boss once on a time in at Max, and then Mr. Eric has also guided me so much. I think 7 years ago I met him, and then he's been part of the journey.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Interesting. You have to come and pay tithe to all of them. Okay, so now let's. We know that the Ghana Premier League is getting towards the end. It's becoming very more competitive towards this end. The point differences between the clubs from the top to about the 4th or 5th positions are not that much. And it's creating quite an interesting photo finish, sort of. How many weeks more to go, and what are the permutations?
Well, so we've done 29 matches, and we are heading to 30 games now. And if you look at the top, like you just stated, Gold Stars are on top of the league, 53 points. Nations FC 51, Heart of Lions, and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Technically, these are the 4 teams that are like, one of them is likely to win the 2024-2025 season. But there's been some interesting facts about the Ghana Premier League. And since we moved from 16 teams to 18, one of the seasons will have struggling side teams battling for the league title until the last minute. Then the following season, we'll have a straightforward win from the first round. So we moved in there in 2019-2020. It was truncated after match day 15. Then in 2020-2021, when Heart to Folk won the Premier League, we saw a season where the first round, Karela were top of the league. When the season ended, Heart to Folk were champions. And even after match day 20, at a point in time, Heart to Folk were 7th place in the league table. So nobody actually tipped them. It was a season where they had to let go about 2 coaches before appointing Samuel Buidu to win this league title for them. Then the following season, Asante Kotoko straight when he went to the league after match 11. And I remember that season after match day 10, Kotoko had 23 points. Then we saw Ediana also had 23 points, and then they played at Doma. When the game ended, Kotoko won 2-0. Then they went top with 26 points, and that was it from match day 11. And then the next season, Midiama won the league. That was in 2020. And that season, after match day 20, Midiama had let go their head coach, Umar Abdullahi. And that season, they also sacked their coach, David Duncan, before the assistant coach took over, Umar Abdurabi. Then after match day 20, when they lost in Kemale, Umar decided to leave the club. Then they had to bring in Augustine Evans Adote. They went ahead to win the league with one informed striker, Jonathan Suwa. So that season, Midiama went top after match day 31, and that was it. They won the Premier League. So we saw a last-minute title winner. Then in 2023-24, Samatex won the league, and they won from the first round. They went top of the league after match day 14 in the first round, then maintained their position to the end of the season. This season, we've seen BBN Gold Stars going top of the league for 7 times this season. They go top, Kotoko takes over, Nations come in, we see teams battling for the top spot, and it has always been Heart of Lions, Nations FC, BBN Gold Stars, Asante Kotoko. So if you see the top 4 teams, all of them have been top of the league at a point in time. And then Gold Stars leads with the number of times they've gone top. That is 7 times. And so it is very important. Now, we are building up to the Super Clash, and this game means a lot to Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Let's not forget that Gold Stars are one of the best sides at home, and in 14 home matches, they won 11, drawn 3, unbeaten at home. The only side unbeaten at home in the Ghana Premier League. They are battling for the league title. They are playing Karela United. But Kotoko's chances of winning the league will still be 100% if they beat Hartlepool on Sunday, because just after that game, their next game will be at home. And so it is very important to start amassing away points if you really want to give Gold Stars a chase at the end of the season. Then Hartlepool too have got something to talk about, but they are not battling for the league title. They are not in title contention, but because they've avoided relegation, this game will be preventing Kotoko from winning the Premier League. Now, if you have 45 points, you are saved now, because we'll go to the bottom and we'll do the analysis. Even if you add the 15 points to the teams at the bottom, especially 17, 16, it will be difficult for them to catch up to 45. So automatically is saved even ahead of their game against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And so their focus will be preventing Kotoko from beating them. Their focus again will be preventing Kotoko from beating them for the 4th consecutive time in the Premier League. Now, before we delve deep into the Super Clash, let's do some analysis around the relegation. They are out of the league, so they automatically takes the 18th slots. That is 15 points. They are out of the Premier League and relegated automatically. Legon Cities have got 25 points, and 5 wins, the 5 games to their points, that would not give them the chance to stay in the league. 40 points. So we give them, they have 40 points. Karela have got 29 points. If you even add the remaining 15 points, it will be very difficult for them to move ahead to around 46, 47 points. So these are the battling side. Karela, if they fail to lose pick a win against Gold Stars and they lose that fixture, then it means that Karela have got something to worry about. That means Accra Lions, Vision FC, Young Apostles should lose their remaining 4 matches for Karela to win or to avoid relegation. So now, Legon Cities and Karela, they are in danger. And that is why today, Legon Cities part ways with their head coach, Yari Champon, becoming the second team to sack their second coach after Young Apostles parting ways with 2 coaches. So it tells you how interesting the league has been. At the top, it is not too open. At the relegation battle, it is not too open, because 29 points, 32 points, 33, 34. At a point in time last season, we all thought Great Olympics were going to avoid relegation. Then they struggled in their remaining games and they fought in. So teams with 34, 33, 32 are still not safe, depending on the results of Karela in their remaining 5 matches. So these are some facts around the top table and the relegation battle. But we are zooming straight to the big game on Sunday, and we've named the match the Unmissable Part 2. The Part 1 was played in the first round. But before that, let's focus on the history. I mean, people ask me, what is the history between Hearts and Kotoko? What have they achieved so far? What can we talk about with regards to the big game? And the numbers are very close. On Sunday, it will be the 116 clash. 116 clash on Sunday in the Premier League since 1958. And Kotoko have won 39, has 38. The Kotoko 39 happened because Doctor won back-to-back in the Premier League, including this season. So 3 consecutive victories have pushed Kotoko up ahead of Hartlepool since 1958. So currently, if Hartlepool have got something to do, then they focus making sure they get the 39th win to equal the Kotoko's highest number of wins between both sides since 1958. You look at the draws, 30, and then the losses. Hartlepool have lost 39, Kotoko have lost 38. So the first round was everything. The first round was everything, because as at first round, 38, 38, 38, 38. So in the first round, Hearts have won 38, Kotoko 38, draws 38, losses 38, 38. But the defeat in the first round has changed everything. Kotoko now up with 39 wins, then losses 39, Kotoko 38. The goal scored is so interesting to talk about. Now, let's pay attention to that. And this is what the goal scoring is saying. The number of goals Hartlepool have scored, the same number of goals Kotoko have conceded. And so Hartlepool have scored Kotoko 121 goals, and Kotoko have also conceded 121 against Hartlepool. Hartlepool have conceded 133. It's the same number of goals Kotoko have also scored. So if you look at the statistics for both teams, interesting to talk about. Hartlepool have scored 121, Kotoko have scored 133, and then Hartlepool have conceded 133. Kotoko have conceded 121. So the number of goals Hartlepool have scored, Kotoko have got it as number of goals conceded. And so the numbers are very, very close between both sides. So interesting. 116th clash on Sunday, and that is if we really want to enjoy the big clash. Now we are looking at the data for the big game, and so we are moving straight to something we want to talk about. So hey, people move. So what is the history between Hartlepool and Kotoko at home? Hartlepool are hosting Kotoko. What should we expect? What is the number saying? Now this is the records for Hartlepool since 2010, 2011, and this is for Hartlepool hosting Kumasi Asante Kotoko at home. So Hartlepool hosting Kotoko at home. Let's start with the 2010. So let me go back to 2010 and for us to enjoy the statistics so much. Now, this is something I want us to look at. And so in 2010, 2011, Kotoko beat Hartlepool 2-0 at Hartlepool home. Now, if you look at the results, you can clearly see that they are dominant over some years. So a year you see Kotoko taking over, controlling. So from 2013, 2014 to 2016 was Kotoko dominance at Hartlepool home. Then from 2017 to 2022, Hartlepool took charge at home. Then again, Kotoko have taken back their slot again from 2023-24. And so in 2010-2011, Hearts lost at home to Kotoko by 2-0. And so Hartlepool losing to Kotoko at home is obviously something that occurs at a point in time. And then the next results, 2011-2012 0-0, 2012-2013 1-1, then 2013-2014 Kotoko defeated Hartlepool once again. So for 4 consecutive years from 2010 to 2013, it was really difficult. You come back to 2015, difficult. Kotoko won by 2-1. 2016, Kotoko won by 1-0. So look at the number of years Kotoko dominated between them 2010 to 2016. And so for 6 years, Hartlepool at home failed to beat Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And so it is not a surprise. Now, 2017, Hartlepool took over 1-0 at home. Then 2020-21, because after 2017-2018 the league was truncated. 2019-2020 Kotoko beat Hartlepool 2-1. Justice scored the final goal. I remember Joseph Eso scored for Hartlepool, the equalizer. Nabi Keita scored for Kumasi Asante Kotoko the first goal. Eso equalized. Then Blaze scored the final goal with the header. But then that season was truncated, so it is not part of the history. Then we move straight to 2020-21. Hearts won by 1-0. That was the season when Hearts won the league with Barney Efie's strike against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. 2021-22 it ended in a draw, and then 2022-23 Hartlepool won 1-0, and Kotoko have taken over. And if you look at the history, this is the game that recorded most goals between 2010 to 2023-24. This is the game that recorded 5 goals between Hearts and Kotoko. So Hearts and Kotoko will be playing 2-0, 1-1, 1-0, and then 2023-24. And it took Dr. Prosper Nate Ogum to set that records between both sides. As we talk about Dr., let me give you some statistics that actually backs Dr. Prosper Nate Ogum. He's got something to talk about. This is something I want us to discuss, and it's very important. Doctor as a coach, and this is one of the factors Kotoko fans should also consider going into this game. Now, between 2020-21 to 2023-24, this is what happened. Kotoko with Dr. Prosper Nate Ogum are unbeaten against Hearts. Kotoko without Doctor loses their fixture. In 2020-21, at a point in time, was with West African Football Academy. So Hearts dominated the first leg. So that has been the pattern. The first leg would always end in a draw. Then the team that is playing at home in the second leg would win the fixture. That is from 2020 to 2022-23. It was a pattern that we were following. The first leg will end in the draw, and the team that is playing at home in the second round will win. So let's go through again. 0-0, Kotoko was playing home. The second leg, Hearts was playing at home. They won. 2021-22, Hearts was playing at home in the first leg. They drew. The team that was playing at home in the second round, Kotoko, they won. 2022-23, Kotoko was playing at home first round. They draw. The team that was playing at home in the second round, Heart to Folk, they won. But 2023-24 with Doctor, Kotoko dominated Heart to Folk, winning back to back. And for the first time, Kotoko won back to back against Heart to Folk. Then you go back to Doctor in 2021-22, 0-0, Kotoko 1-0. So with Dr. Prosper Natugum, within these 4 years, we pick these 4 years as an analysis. Doctor is here unbeaten. Doctor is here unbeaten. Then the first round, Doctor was there. He won the game emphatically. 3 consecutive wins. But history says without Doctor, Kotoko cannot beat Hearts since 2020. And so we'll be looking forward to what will happen this Sunday. But we look at the teams. It is very important that we look at the team's performance, because going into the big clash, and people talk about team's performance. Some are saying the teams are not actually performing. They are not giving us the best of performance. But let's look at something. 29 matches for between Hearts and Kotoko in the league this season. Heart to Folk 6th place, Kotoko 4th place with 50 points, a win 53, a win 48. And so this point is very important for the teams. But with wins, Kotoko ahead 14 wins, Heart to Folk 12 wins. Clearly, in terms of wins, Kotoko ahead of Heart to Folk. In terms of draws, Heart to Folk are drawing more games, 9. Kotoko have lost 8. But goals, losses, Heart to Folk have lost 8 times, Kotoko 7. So if you pick this analysis, clearly Kotoko are ahead of Heart to Folk in terms of performance in the Premier League. Goal scoring, Kotoko still ahead, 25 goals scored, but then Kotoko have scored 29 in terms of goals considered. That is where Kotoko are also having problems. So if you pick all the analysis, Kotoko have got all the advantage, except that Kotoko concedes a lot than Heart to Folk, and this is something we need to pay attention to prior to this game. Now, if you look at these two teams this season, Heart to Folk have lost 4 matches at home, and Kotoko have lost 5 matches away. Unfortunately for Kotoko fans, in the last 7 away matches for Kotoko, they are winless. So the last time Kotoko won an away game this season was in December 21st against Dreams FC. They won by 2-1. And Kotoko in Accra have not really been the best. They've lost to Legon Cities by 2-1. And they've lost to Accra Lions by 3-0. Kotoko last 2 away matches, they've conceded 5 goals. They failed to score. They've lost all matches. And that is against Accra Lions and Nations FC, ahead of their big super clash. But it takes me back to the first round. Before Kotoko played Heart to Folk in match day 13, at a point in time they were winless, and they started with Heart to Folk. They started winning from Heart to Folk's time, and they became very, very consistent at home. Just after losing to Nations FC, they played Heart to Folk. They won, and they picked up their form up to now. Since Kotoko beat Heart to Folk in the first round in match day 13, Kotoko are yet to lose at home in a total of 9 matches, 8 wins, 1 draw. So this is the advantage, big advantage for Kotoko going into the game. Now, we look at the 2 coaches. Honestly, as a statistician, I would wish it was Doctor, because he has played more matches against Heart to Folk. He's got more history to talk about against Heart to Folk. So Ouattara will be playing his 3rd Super Clash game, and he's been Heart to Folk coach since last season's 2nd round, match day 18. He's played Kotoko twice. He's lost all the matches, and he's yet to score a goal in the Premier League. Because there was a cup game between both sides, and Kotoko won that one. But this is a Premier League build-up, and so we are focusing on the Premier. Last season as a coach, he lost 2-0 to Kotoko in the 2nd round league. Then this season he's lost 1-0 again against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And there's something interesting between these 2 coaches. For the first time, we are going to have a coach who is playing Heart to Folk 3 times in a single season. That is Abdul Karim Zito. He's already played Heart to Folk twice with Dreams FC, and he didn't concede a goal. He scored 1 goal. He's won 1. He's drawn 1. And again, in 6 consecutive games played against Hearts League, Karim Zito as a coach is unbeaten against Heart to Folk. 5 draws, 1 win ahead of the game. And so going into the game, Abdul Karim Zito has got a lot of work to do against Hartlepool. And the question is that, okay, Dreams FC isn't up there like Kotoko in terms of player recruitment, because we are doing player analysis, apart from Joseph Esau, who has been playing consistently with experience. You can't compare the Dreams squad to the current Kotoko squad: Patrick Isiedu, Lord Amwa, Saka Dauda, Frederick Asare, Samba O'Neill. These are top-notch players who can win you the league title straightforward. And so Ouattara is going into his third game against Kumasi Asante Kotoko in the league. Is yet to score a goal. We see how he will be playing on Sunday. Abdul Karim Zito is unbeaten in 6 consecutive matches against Hartlepool. He's won 1, he's drawn 5, and is one of the coaches that has beaten Hartlepool in an away league game. Now, interesting fact about Ouattara. At home, I said they've lost 4 matches. And 1 was against Baseke Holy Stars. That was in match day 1. Mm-hmm. Then they lost to BBN Gold Stars, who are currently the league leaders. They've lost to Dreams FC, and they've lost to Nations FC. And in all those matches, the result is 1-0. Now, if you look at those results, Hartlepool overturning goal scoring in the first half is really difficult. And so, if you pick Hartlepool Baseke, they considered early goal in the first half. They failed to come back at home. Mm-hmm. Hartlepool Dreams FC, they considered early goal in the first half. They failed to come back. And then against Nations FC, they considered in the second half. And then against Gold Stars, they considered in the second half. So in 4 matches that they've lost at home, 2 of the matches they conceded in the first half, they failed to come back. And then 2 of the matches they also considered in the second half, they failed to equalize. And interestingly, if you are a side that can score hard to first goal at home, it will be difficult for them to overturn. The only time they've managed to pick up points against an opponent who have scored the first goal against them was when they drew 1-1 against Swatraman. Swatraman scored around 12 minutes, hard to equalize around 16 minutes, and that was it. They didn't come back. The game ended in a draw. So a lot of work on Coach Abubakar Ouattara against Abdul Karim Zito. So
I think I want us to go back a bit. Let's go back to the top of the league table. Let's go back to the top. So if you look at the league table, the top of the league table, for example, you see that Gold Stars are leading. But I understand that Gold Stars also have 3 extra outstanding points against Nswatraman.
Yes.
So assuming that Gold Stars should have that 3 points in addition to this, it gives them 6 points.
Yes.
Right? Now, 50 makes them 56. If it gets to the wire where Kotoko will have to, because Kotoko will have to play Gold Stars at home.
Yes. In BBN.
In BBN. So, assuming that Kotoko wins against Hearts, what would be how they will get what, 53?
Yes, they will get 53 points.
So then that means that 3 points will be the only outstanding 3 points between the 2 clubs.
Yes, but that weekend as well, Kotoko is playing. So if Gold Stars wins, for instance, if you are doing analysis of that week where Gold Stars, so let me take you through the final push.
So if Kotoko is playing Hearts of Oak on Sunday, who are Gold Stars playing?
So this is the fixture of the last 5 matches. So the weekend where Gold Stars are playing Swatraman, that weekend Kotoko is playing Dreams FC. So the only option is Kotoko must win on that weekend to keep the title chase close.
Okay.
Yes, so Kotoko will be playing. If Gold Stars are winning, Gold Stars can still go to Nswatra to win the game. What will happen? Kotoko must also win to keep the title chase.
Okay.
Yes. So that is that. But we are still looking at the statistics. You know, a lot of people are talking about Benjamin Asare, who is likely to start. But I picked this one as a result of what happened in the Kotoko last game, because Abdul Karim Zito will be playing his second game on Sunday as Kotoko head coach. But if you look at the first game he played as a coach, he used Mohamed Kamara, and Kamara also saved a penalty, and he was the man of the match. So it was obvious that the coach was still going for Mohamed Kamara as his number 1. But these are the statistics of the 2 shot stoppers ahead of the game. Benjamin Asare has got 14 clean sheets in 23 matches. 1 man of the match award is considered 11. And Mohamed Kamara from Guinea, He's managed 14 games, 6 clean sheets, 8 goals conceded, and 2 man of the match awards. And the man of the match, the last game, he was the man of the match. In match day 1 against Karela United away, he was the man of the match ahead of the game. But if you look at these 2 shot stoppers in the first round, they were imposed for both sides, and Benjamin conceded 1 goal against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Benjamin last season kept a clean sheet against Kotoko away as Olympics shot stopper, where he managed to save a penalty from Stephen Mukwala Desi at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. So a lot of pressure on him. Currently, he's trying to equal his records for last season, 16 clean sheets, most in the Premier League last season. Currently, he's got 14, and so a lot of responsibilities on Benjamin Asare on this game. He considered the first round. Albert Amwa scored a goal in the first one, and so I know he has a lot of work to do. For Mohamed Kamara, he has to prove to Abdul Karim Zito why he's one of the best shot stoppers of Kotoko. In the second round, when coach Abdul Karim Zito played hard to focus, his goalkeeper was the man of the match, Gideos Isiakun. And so it means that probably Abdul Karim Zito will come with the approach of more defensive line, and a lot of role will have to be played by the shot stopper for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. But let's look at the players to watch out for in the game. And we have Albert Amwa. He joined Kotoko from Olympics, and Mauli Wayo from Bebieni Gold Stars. And people are talking about why these players have got fewer goals. Albert at a point got injured. He's not been consistent. He started so well. He scored against Hartlepool, but then at a point in time, he wasn't playing often for them. But Mauli Wayo is played as a winger. At a point in time, Abubakar Ouattara would try to adopt him as a false 9 against Mediama. He scored an important goal for them. He's played 24 matches, 1,172 minutes played. He scored 5 goals, 3 man of the match awards, and that is what he has more than Albert Amwa. Albert has got 2 man of the match awards. Albert has scored more goals. Albert has got more minutes, 1,542 minutes played in 20 matches. It means that Albert stays on the pitch for more time than Mauli Wayo, but Mauli has got more matches played, but then Albert plays more minutes than Mauli Wayo. That tells you how important Albert Amwa is to Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And this season it's not only Albert. Albert has got 8, but Kwan Puku has got 7. So combining them against Hartlepool could be something difficult to talk about. But we also
Kwan Puku seems to be in some good form.
Yes, he's been on top form this season. But Hartlepool are playing home, and we are looking at how Hartlepool could line up against Kotoko. And this is 4-1-3-2 formation, and usually this is how Abubakar Ouattara approach matches, 4-1-3-2. So you see Benjamin Asare impose. It's obvious. Ransford Mensah is likely. He joined Hartlepool from Dambot. He was in action in the first round. Kunedi Yadom, Kevin Osisibe, and then Emmanuel Amankwa. For me, among the Hartlepool team, he is the discovery this season. He can play as a left back, can play as a right back. He's giving them so much option, because if you look at the Hartlepool right back, Michael Ampedu at a point was playing. Yaya Adraman has had a few. Then now it's a turn of Amankwa, who sometimes plays as a left back. And so this is likely to be the back four for Hartlepool. Then Rafael Amponsa also be in action. He was Theophilus Collinson in the first round, but I don't know. Ouattara is now trying to build confidence in Rafael Amponsa for this game. Now, Seth Osei signed for Hartlepool in the second transfer window, likely to be in the midfield. Kwesi Asma from Nagod in Division 1, likely to be there. Hussein Mohamed, Hamza Issa, and Mauli Wayo. This is how Hartlepool could line up. But for Hamza Issa, last season he scored 13 goals in his debut season for them. This season he's got only 5 goals and only 4. So this is the Hartlepool attack. He scored 5, he scored 4. In total, they've given Hartlepool 9 goals. And so that is not enough for them to battle for the league title, and that is why they are currently struggling. So this is how Hartlepool could line up. We look at how Hussein, Kwesi Asma, Seth, Mauli Wayo, Hamza could torment the defense of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. We are looking at Kumasi Asante Kotoko over here, Abdul Karim Zito. This is how he lined up in the first round, with the exception of Justice Blay. You know, these games are for big players, and so obviously Abdul Karim Zito will be looking at how Blay will fit into the start, because in the first game he didn't use him. But I'm looking at how he could use him, or maybe decide to go with Chedwame now. You know, but let's look at the Kotoko setup, the possible probable Kotoko setup. Mohamed Kamara in post, Patrick Isiudu inform Patrick Isiudu. He can also score from a set piece, and that is where Hartlepool should be careful. A lot of set piece. Patrick Isiudu is very good player with that. Andrea Najete, the first game in his first game he used Michael Sifa, but we are looking at how he could use Sifa and Samba O'Neil as 4 and 5, because Henry Ansu in the first game was not so impressive, and so the coach could look at how he will map up a new strategy against Hartlepool. So this is likely the back four. So we are looking at how Hamza Issa could penetrate the defense together with Mauli Wayo in the game. Then we go to the midfield. Andrew Sintimeno, most consistent player for Kotoko this season, Baba Yaya and Justice Blay. And if he doesn't go in for Justice Blay, then it will be Chedwame in the midfield. But look at how the Kotoko midfield, how could they dominate? How can they create those passes? Baba Yaya, Andrew Sintimeno, Justice Blay, or Chedwame. Then the attack. He used this attack for his first game. Kwame Puku scored 7 goals. Abetamwa 8 goals. Fernando Wizombasi from Nigeria. He has also played some good games for Kotoko. He's not had so much minutes in the game for Kotoko, but he's not been bad at all as a player for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. The last thing we'll look out ahead of the big clash on Sunday is the last 13 matches between Hearts and Kotoko, and this one is the topic for discussion. Kotoko, Sunday.
All right, let me to take a little breather. Let me come to the studio. Sicho is here, Eric. Interesting analysis.
Yeah, very captivating and intriguing. I'm sure the listeners and, of course, those who are viewing on social media would have enjoyed it. And it's no surprise it's Mo Shaban. What do you expect? You can't expect anything less than that. And it's there's one thing having the data, there's one thing making a lot of meanings from it, and he does that brilliantly with the Ghana Premier League. So it even wakes up the excitement more. And when I saw the figures of the 38, 39, mathematical purposes, and I like clean work. For the work to be clean, I just want Hartlepool to win. But when they do, then we have 39-39, defeats 39-39, and draws at 38-38, you know. But yeah, I mean, you just see how the game goes. But he said it. Kotoko and the pressure because they're in a title chase. Hartlepool are outside the title, they are looking inside the title. But maybe if they win against Kotoko and other results go their way, they could very much marginally be in touch and distance. But I think it's more for Kotoko to win because of the aspirations. And it's Karim Zito. One thing about Karim Zito is he knows how to play cup games. And Kotoko can look at the rest of their games to the end of the season as each game being a final. And Karim Zito can easily prepare teams in that mode, like focus teams to treat every single game as an in-tournament, you know, kind of game. So when they appointed him, at the time they appointed him, I look at a number of games that I'm thinking, well, I like Ogum, but he could be the man to bring that new managerial bounce back for Kotoko, where he prepares the team to go into the rest of the games as final. So yeah, it's going to be very intriguing. Lots of history, lots of statistics to, you know, guide your thoughts going into the game. And so we'll see how the game pans out. But yeah, very fascinating coming up on Sunday.
Eric.
Yeah, I mean, Mo has really dealt well with the data, and Kotoko have their destiny in their own hands, even though they are coming to Accra. I mean, if they still are so much interested in winning the Ghana Premier League, then of course they have to win on Sunday. But can they do it? That is the question, because Hearts of Oak will be playing for pride. I mean, nothing more than pride. It's just a normal Hearts Kotoko game. They would want to win and bring the data, like Sicho said, close the gap to the same number of wins as they will be having at Kotoko. It's about the bragging rights over here. And Hearts of Oak are the team that can actually pull the brakes, because even a draw on Sunday means automatically Kotoko are out of the title chase for them, because definitely Gold Stars are going to beat Karela on Sunday. If they beat them, they extend their lead to 6. What it clearly means is that you, Kotoko, you have a game against them. They have 3 points waiting for them, taking their lead to 9. So clearly, even if you manage to win at the dance park, what it means is that you will still have to win the rest of your games, which is not guaranteed. So for you to be in the title chase, then you definitely have to win on Sunday. Will Hearts of Oak allow them to win on Sunday? Because a win on Sunday would mean that they would have beaten Hearts of Oak. They've beaten them. They've beaten them already, and a win would have meant that they've beaten them back to back this season.
Yeah,
and that would not sound good for the Phobians. And I think Abubakar Ouattara, he's already lost 2 games against Asante Kotoko. Would he be willing to lose the 3rd game? It depends on how he sets up. For me, I see Michael Ampadu, very experienced, coming in as a right back. And on that day, if Hussein turns up, then of course, the whole Hearts of Oak team needs to turn up against Asante Kotoko, because in the middle of the pitch, where they have Intim Menu, he's been very, very consistent for them this season. I don't see Justice Blay playing. I don't see him playing in this game, because I think Karim Zito will know the stakes that are available, and I don't see him changing much from the last team that he used against Aduana Stars. But for Hearts of Oak, yes, Raphael Amponsa, Kwesi Asma, I don't see him starting. I may see Emmanuel Amankwa shifting to the left back, and then Michael Ampadu slotting into the right. But the central defensive partnership of Kelvin Osesibe and Konadu Yadom, they really have a lot to do to take on Kwame Poku and Albert Amwa. These are 2 very pacey players. They are very shrewd, and they can do anything with the ball. So they really need to step up their game and make sure they are able to keep them at bay. But of course, the supply. I saw Fernando Basse, the Nigerian international. I saw him against Adriana at a point when I was watching the game, and I think he's a very good player. All he needs is a lot of time, and he needs minutes. This is a player who was not playing under Prosper Nate-Ogum. Karim Zito walks in within a week. He hands him a starting berth in that game against Adriana, and he drops a player like Justice Blay, a player like Ansu, who has not been playing for a very long time. Karim Zito walks in, and he's a starter. So clearly it tells you that coaches and the kind of players they want to see and how they want to use them. Baba Yaya was playing in a more advanced role under Dr. Prosper Nate-Ogum, probably playing behind the strikers. This time around, in the last game, I saw him very deep in midfield. And I don't know, but that is how Karim Zito wants to set his team up. And clearly, well, it will be a very interesting encounter on Sunday. I just hope that Hearts of Oak turn up for this game. If they do, the title chase is over for Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
Right. Yeah, Mo. So usually for Kotoko Hearts games, there are things that attracts a lot of people. The individual brilliance, the technical abilities, and all of that. With what you did on the board, usually, what is the usual formation of Kotoko in games like this?
Yes, so for Kumasi Asante Kotoko, you just have to track Abdul Karim Zito's style of play, where usually he wants to possess the ball, control the game. And one of the key things you have to pay attention to, for Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they have got everything to go into this game, because Kwame Poku is in form. You allow Kwame Poku in the 18-yard box, you are in trouble. For Albert Amwa, in the first round, he tormented the Hearts of Oak defense until 90+5, when he managed to get a goal. And he was all over the game. It was him versus Kevin Osesibe of Hearts of Oak in the first round at the Babara Sports Stadium. Then for Patrick Esiedu, he's very pacey, a very good wing back, set piece expert. In these big games, we've seen players scoring from set piece like Dombote. And for him this season, I've watched him score at the Nana Jimambedu, the second park in Doma, where he scored a set piece against Aduana FC. So these 3 players are very key. But one of the players that the fans usually talk about, Samba O'Neil, He's got 3 man of the match awards this season, and he is expected to be the pillar of their team. Now look at Heart of Folk. Heart of Folk in the first round had one player called Sani Ishaq Mohammed, but he's not part of their team this season. On a normal day, we would want to talk about Seth Osei. He's played for Ashgood. He's got the experience, a good passer of the ball. He signed for Heart of Folk in the second transfer window, but we've not seen much of Seth Osei. But these are games for big boys, and Seth would be one of the players to talk about in the game. And in terms of pace, speed, it's Mauli Wayo. He's been doing that for Heart of Oak. He's an out-and-out winger. In 2020-21 at King Faisal, he was used as a right winger for the side. But at Heart of Oak, sometimes you find him here, and sometimes he's playing with Hamza Issa Afon, depending on what Coach Abubakar Ouattara wants to do. For Hamza Issa, last season's top scorer is not giving out so much to talk about this season. He's been on and off. He's not scoring like we used to know. And so, but on any day, Hamza is a key player. But one thing about Hamza, I've watched him against Kotoko in 2 games. He's not putting so much energy in those matches. Maybe this time he would want to achieve something, because Heart of Oak have lost 3 consecutive times against Kotoko, and a defeat again will make it 4 consecutive times back-to-back last season, and another back-to-back to happen this season if they fail to win. For Kwesi Asma, he's a set-piece expert at Nagod, but unfortunately he's also not warmed himself up in the Heart of Oak setup for some time. You know, he's now trying to gel with the team. Rafael Amponsa scored a nice long range against Mediama, but he's not been on top form. So the key players to watch out for in the Heart of Oak team will obviously be Hussein Mohammed. He's won 5 man of the match awards. The player with most MVPs is Nuruddin Abdullah of Mediama, centre back. He's won 6, and for Hussein to win 5, it tells you how good he is. And so you would have to go to stadium to watch Hussein, Mauli Wayo, Seth Osei, then Kevin Osesibe. Fans used to talk about Kevin Osesibe, but for me, I think that in big games like this, he gives his all to Heart of Oak. And so these 4 players will be playing a big role. But for Emmanuel Amankwa, I've always said he is a discovery. Can play as a left back, a right back, surging forward, doesn't fear any other opponent. But Mr. Eric made a point. Can this back 4 defend against Kwame Poku Abetamo? Because the first round it was just Abetamo.
Yeah.
Now Kwame Poku is part. He is a tormentor. He just needs the ball in the 18-yard box to do the damage. And that is all. And it makes it very difficult. But I think they would rely more on their goalkeeper, Benjamin Asari, on this.
Okay, to make the difference.
Yes.
I know you have to leave us any moment from now.
It's a shame. Yeah.
Yes, I know. I mean, you have other stuff to look at. But before you go briefly, this is a Category A game, and therefore security has to be quite tight.
Absolutely,
because I'm just hearing that the IGP himself will be at the stadium to ensure that everything is in order. But before you just take leave of us, Kurt, our second vice president of CAF, good thing for Ghana.
A massive thing for Ghana. It should open opportunities for other Ghanaians to get into CAF. It should take him closer to policy making. It should take him closer to how football is discussed. And if he wants to, he can solicit some of those ideas or have those ideas at hand. And when he's back home in Ghana, uses that to run his association. And I think that, of course, when you are a football politician, you're aspiring to get to the top, and it's a good step. GFA president, Wafu Zombi president, now one of the vice presidents of CAF. So it's progress for him, and we wish him all the best. A couple of years ago, we had our own Ghanaian man there in Kwesi Nanteci. We all know what happened. No one got into all of that. But what we can say is that keep your eye on the job. Be careful. Football is slippery because so many things can make you take your eye off the ball. But you are Ghanaian. You are there. We are rooting for you. We are wishing you well. And the higher it goes, the better it is for Ghana. The more it's exposed at that level, the better it is for knowledge gathering and knowledge sharing and knowledge using in our space. So, yeah, we wish him well.
All right, Tijo, thank you very much.
A pleasure.
Would allow
I'll
you
be
to
back
take
here very
yours.
soon.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. We can't wait to have you back. But Eric and I will complete the marathon for this one. We'll finish it up and then we'll see how it goes because Mo Shaban is also here. Charlie, thanks, man. Thanks. We'll open the phone lines at some point for you, all the Kotoko Hearts fans as well. We'll open the phone lines for you so that you can also definitely, I'm sure they have one or two things to say about the game. Kotoko and Hearts is a big deal on Sunday, and But let me pick up Eric's mind, his thoughts actually on the CAF second vice president coming to Kets.
It's huge. Because I mean we've all been looking out for this since the exit of Kwesi Nyantakyi, and. He's the third in command when it comes to the CAF structure as it is now. I mean, second vice president, it's a massive one. And yes, even though it was a position he was nominated for, I think CAF are probably looking at the balance of power to be shared among the Anglophone, the Arab, and all that. But so for us over here, it's a huge one for us, and I think it's good for our football. It's good for governance going forward. It's good for the FA president to go out there and be much more closer to the power brokers at the Confederation of African Football to sit with them and frame up policies for the development of football on the continent. I'm sure he will be able to tap into the knowledge of other top guys at the CAF level and bring it down here and make sure our football gets better. I mean, we've all been striving to make sure that our football gets up there, and it's a huge opportunity for him to make himself proud, make Ghanaians proud, make our football association proud, and make every other person who associates with him proud, because these things don't come so easily. Once upon a time, Kwesi was there. And like Sicho said, we all know what happened. We don't want to walk that path again. I mean, he just needs to keep his focus and keep doing what he's doing.
Well, Kurt, Edwin, Simeon, Okreku, we wish you well. We don't want any Anas to meet you on the way. Because, Charlie, we don't go if you afford another second batch of Anas. So keep your eyes on the road, Edwin. And then let's see how we'll go. We'll support you in every aspect that we can. Sunday's game is a Category A game. Security matters are quite important and to these kind of games. And we know that according to what we are hearing from the NSA, the police are taking this very seriously to the extent that the old boy himself, the IGP himself, wants to be at the stadium to also ensure that it's an incident-free. Go and watch your game, enjoy your game, and go home quietly. Go and see your jama and enjoy yourself. And add to the statistics that Mo has given us tonight on this show. So